Now, the U.S. outpaces the world with 400,000 more cases than the next closest country, which is Spain. And New York is home to most of those patients, but still there's a growing push to reopen the U.S. economy. CGTN White House correspondent Nathan King live outside the White House with the latest on that part of this. Nathan.
Yeah, Lena, could I just respond to the U.S. president in the briefing there? Because basically what he's doing is pushing back on a New York Times story and a Washington Post story that sort of detailed what both papers have called inaction over 2 months since China published the sort of genome of the Wuhan, of the COVID-19. He also, by the way, used the word Wuhan virus again, which he hasn't been doing. He's sort of been defending what he calls his China travel ban, which didn't really immediately go into effect until February 2nd, saying he shut down China. I just want to let you know that flights continued from China for weeks after that at the discretion of the airlines, and there were some big exemptions, including flights from Macau, Hong Kong, and the region of Taiwan as well, and it also exempted U.S. citizens and green card holders. So this idea of shutting down everything was erroneous. I just wanted to put that out there because we were playing the coronavirus task force live. Now, as you said, there are plans to sort of look at the reopening of the economy, and the U.S. president will start to address this any minute, because there's been a real tussle between the White House and the states. The U.S. president says it's going to be the biggest decision I've ever made in my life. I have the authority to open. Well, states are not really listening to the White House. They say, look, it's up to us. In fact, on the West Coast, California, Washington, and Oregon are coming up with a plan to try and safely reopen the economy when there's enough testing and cases start to go down. On the East Coast, New York, and 5 other states on the East Coast are also banding together to try and come up with a coordinated plan because their economies are so interlinked. And they're learning from other countries who are opening up: China, South Korea, parts of Spain, Madrid. Let's have a listen to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
You look around the world, you see warning signs from countries who have opened. And my point is to our team, I want to learn from those other countries. We are easing isolation. We want to increase economic activity. That will happen essentially through a recalibration of what are essential workers.
So basically, that's the sort of step-by-step approach that a lot of governors are going through. Now, the U.S. president is sort of moving forward with a council to reopen America. We don't have the full official list yet, but we understand that these are some of the names on it, and they include the president's daughter, Ivanka Trump, son-in-law, Jared Kushner, Treasury Secretary Robert Lighthizer, the Trade Secretary Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary, his new Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, and Larry Kudlow, the Economic Advisor. But at the moment, we haven't seen any health officials listed, and that's raising a couple of questions. Are there going to be more economic decisions determined, or is public health going to weigh into it as well? So let's see if that task force is fleshed out. But it's not inspiring a lot of confidence, I tell you, this list of names, especially because of the president's family members being part of the list with no obvious expertise on the economy or public health.
Exactly. What more can that group do? We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But Nathan, I also want to ask you about this U.S. sailor who died of complications from the coronavirus. What more have you been hearing with this case?
Yeah, the USS Theodore Roosevelt, one of the 11 aircraft carriers in the U.S. fleet, really stymied in Guam. Basically, we now know that one sailor has died. Remember, the former captain of the ship, who was fired for raising the alarm in an email, Captain Brett Crozier, was actually cheered off his ship, fired, and then the acting Navy Secretary was fired for firing him as well. A complete mess. But we understand now quite a young person, not identity yet, but one sailor has died in Guam. 600 people on that ship have been infected with COVID-19, and we understand now the numbers in the U.S. military are approaching 15,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nathan King, live for us at the White House.
Thank you.
Thank you.